Hey guys, how are you? It's Sunday. Welcome to a live question and answer session. If you've got any questions, I checked earlier, nobody had any. It was like crickets. But if you have one now, leave it into the comment section. I'm going to discuss a couple of things today that I've been working on for you that are really powerful. We're going to talk about the power of belief and expectation, because most people don't understand it, how that works. I also want to go into a little bit about mind control. You know, I wrote a book a long time ago, and I'll go into it, called The Secrets of Mind Control. But it's not what people think. It's not about controlling other people's minds. It's about controlling your own. That's how we live the life that we were meant to live. So I'm going to go into that a little bit too. All right. So if you have any questions or any comments, just drop them now into the comments. I will check them as I'm going through this. So we are live. If you're watching this later as a rebroadcast, that's awesome. Welcome. And you still have a question or comment or something I talked about or didn't talk about, drop it down there. We always check these and we'll definitely go into it next time. All right. So while you are deciding if you want to ask a question, I want to talk a little bit about belief and expectation, because, you know, we don't always get what we want, but you always get what you expect. You know, the power of belief and expectation, they work just as effectively on your feelings of self-doubt and limitation as they do on your thoughts of success and achievement. Think thoughts of defeat and you think thoughts of failure, and you are bound to be discouraged. You're bound to feel worse. It affects the body, the mind, the body, the soul together. Belief is an incredibly powerful state of mind. Somewhere, belief has been perverted with religion and faith. Those things have been added into religion like they exclusively belong there. But faith and belief come first. For yourself. They come from inside. They are something you grant to yourself, and that's how everything changes. You know, it's in the Bible. It's in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It's everywhere you look. The statement, the kingdom is inside you. He who looks for it will find it. He who goes inside. That is where everything happens. Inside. You've got the most immense supercomputer ever invented inside your head. You don't know how to use it, right? So belief is so powerful. Your belief system, it not only defines you, but it shapes who you are. And that belief system was created when we were children. It was created between the ages of 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 years old. We weren't adults then. We weren't thinking logically then. That is the patterns that are running inside us right now. It determines our potential from a very young age. Tells us how far we're going to go. You know, Henry Ford was right when he said, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Absolutely. If you look at the mountain and say, I will never climb that, guess what? You're never going to climb it. Your belief system is like your computer. It doesn't judge what you input. It simply accepts it as the truth. Think about that. Earl Nightingale, when I first started this journey years and years ago, one of the greatest gifts ever was the gift of Earl Nightingale. And if you've never listened to the what is it called? The something secret, greatest secret. You got to look that up. It is intense and it's the truth. It's 20 minutes of pure truth. I'll try to put a link down in the group at some point. But that, if you've never listened to that, what is it called? The something secret, Earl Nightingale. I'll find it for you. But he was the founder of Nightingale Conant. That's one of those companies back in the day. They used to produce a lot of content, especially other speakers, you know. Oh, The Strangest Secret. That's what it was called. I just thought of it. See how the brain works? It's called The Strangest Secret, you know. And what his big thing was, you become what you think about. You become what you think about all day long. I changed my life with that statement because it's the absolute truth. And if you start doing that, life starts to change. You know, if you want to know where your predominant thoughts are, and what you believe right now, look at what you're experiencing in your life, because where you are right now is because you got you there. Shit can the excuses. You're there because you got you there. That's the first step, is accepting the moment, accepting that you got yourself here. And now, if you don't like the moment, you can change it. But there's no use fighting against the moment because it's here. Accept it and then make the change. That little twist will change everything in your life. Your thoughts are creative by nature, and they express themselves through your emotions. And what happens? Those drive your actions. You get that feeling in your stomach. You don't want to do something. You get nervous. You get this. You get that. That is the red flags. Those are the red flags going up the flagpole. When you see those now, you know what those flags mean. The emotions in your body are flags. Something is going on here. The body is telling you, oh, got that feeling in my stomach, the pit of my stomach, something's wrong. You know, have you ever heard this? This is a very famous, and I wrote this down. I mean, I know it, but I want to make sure I said it correctly, you know, because everything you say is both positive, it's negative as well, because everything you say is an affirmation. People that walk around saying, I hate my life, oh, I never have any money, blah, 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 blah. What are those people's lives like? Exactly. Because they are attracting it to them. They're vibrating on that frequency. They're attracting more. The people around them. I mean, if you get a husband and wife that are doing that, oh man, watch out. You're going to see some negativity right there. You're going to see people being sick, this and that, and money problems. Oh, you get two people on that frequency harmonizing together. So anyway, this is the quote. Watch your thoughts, for they become words. Choose your words, for they become actions. Understand your actions, for they become habits. Study your habits, because they become your character, and develop your character, because it becomes your destiny. I thought Margaret Thatcher said that, but I'm not sure. So many years ago, we had a client who was a new insurance agent, I think, or he sold some sort of insurance, right? He just received his license. He was looking for prospects. So he met with a successful businessman, and this guy agreed to give him some referrals. So what he did, he handed this new agent 10 referrals. He asked him to contact the prospects right away and get back to him with the results. So 2 weeks later, the salesman dropped by the businessman's office to give him feedback and ask for more referrals. The insurance agent was pleased to announce that he had been very successful. He proudly stated he had already contacted and sold insurance policies to 7 of the referrals and was still attempting to contact the other 3. After thanking the businessman for giving him the 10 prospects, he asked him if he thought of any other referrals. Now, the businessman smiled and said he was very busy at the moment and surprised the insurance agent by handing him a phone book. The businessman informed him that the previous 10 prospects were not his personal contacts, but rather names he had selected at random from the phone book. He suggested that the salesman go ahead and get the next 10 prospects himself. The astute businessman taught this new salesman an extremely valuable lesson that he had learned at the beginning of his career that made all the difference. It's in the power of belief and in expectation. The salesman had made those sales on the belief that he had been given 10 preferred prospects. Therefore, he was confident and he was eager to contact those leads. And he expected to make the sales with little or no difficulty. And guess what? He did. What is your belief about your life right now? What are your expectations about change and success? Belief is the most powerful state of mind there is. It changes everything. If you believe something to be true, you make it true in your life. Okay, let me check. No questions yet. If you have anything you come up with, you want to drop it down below, that's fine, all right? And I'll get to them later. I also want to talk a little bit about mind control. I got a cool graphic for you. Look at that, yeah. You know, several years ago, I wrote a book called The Secrets of Mind Control. And the thing is, everyone thinks mind control means controlling someone else's mind. And really, mind control, the secret to success in life, in whatever area you need it, is controlling your own mind. It's not controlling the mind of someone else, making them do what you want. It's changing your mind. And the most successful people among us know that. So today, I want to take a few moments. I want to talk about how to control your mind. It makes you the master of your own destiny. Your mind is literally the most powerful tool that you have for creation in your life. Creation of good, rewarding, bliss-filled, abundant life. But if you don't use it correctly, and most people don't, it can be the most destructive force in your life. To control your thoughts means to influence the way you live your life. Your mind, well, more specifically, your thoughts, they affect your perception and therefore your interpretation of reality. You know, I've heard that the average person thinks 70,000 thoughts a day. Holy shit, that is so much, especially if they're unproductive, self-abusive, and just a general waste of energy. We are negative thinkers. We are programmed that way. Since the moment we are born, we're brainwashed and programmed by the world around us. And that programming is destroying our lives. Stop and listen to the thoughts inside your head and see how negative they are. You can let your thoughts run crazy in there. And that's what you're doing. They call it a monkey mind. Your mind is going nuts in there like a monkey in a cage. But why would you do that? It's your mind. It's your thoughts. You are in control. So what does that mean? It means take your power back. Take back your control. If you're not happy with where your life is going, stop trying to change the outer world. Stop trying to get someone to make you happy or a job that will make you fulfilled. That's all bullshit. It's inside. Choose to be the person who is actively and consciously thinking your thoughts. The voice in your head is just the conditioned past. It is not telling the future, and it's not, you don't have to listen to that voice. It's like having a bitchy roommate 24/7 narrating your life. You've got to become someone who can control your thoughts. You have to become the master of your mind. There's a reason I called myself the mastermind for the last 20 years as I perform all over the world. Again, it's not egotistical. It's mastering your mind. This is possible when you master your mind, because when you change your thoughts, you change the way you feel. And you will also eliminate the triggers that set off those feelings. My friends, everything that has ever happened to you is on the videotape that's running inside you. You can choose to go back and look at that video and try to figure out why you did something or didn't do something, but you can't. It's on that videotape. So you can look at it, but you can't change it. And that's what we try to do. And what does that mean? We're living in the past when you're knee deep, neck deep, buried in the pictures of the past, wishing and wanting and hoping. Bullshit. You get no peace of mind that way. This is all about a greater level of peace in your mind and then in your life. Now, there's a few thoughts that are not of my choosing, right? And then you realize it's a response from programming. I am the master of my mind. So now I can make my mind peaceful. Yours can be too. When I was younger, my life was so filled with anxiety, and I never knew why. I was making fantastic money. I was touring the world. I was doing all the things I thought I wanted to do. I would wake up in a sweat, so filled with anxiety and fear, always afraid of losing something, no matter how much I had. That is no way to live. And now to not have that, it's like a giant gorilla that's removed off of your back. So first, ask yourself this: who is thinking my thoughts? Before you can become the master of your mind, you have to recognize that you are currently, right now, at this moment, at the mercy of several unwanted roommates that live up there in your head because they have control of your thoughts. Now, if you want to be the boss of those people, and of course you do, you must know who they are, what their motivation is, and then you can take charge and evict their asses. So here are 4 of the roommates in your head that create unhealthy and unproductive thoughts. Try to figure out which one you have. Do you have all of them? Do you have 1 or 2 of them? Here they are. The inner critic. This is your constant abuser. This person is a conglomeration of other people's words. Many times it's your parents, your older siblings, people in authority figures when you were children. Thoughts you've created based on your own or other people's expectations. Listen to that again. Thoughts that you've created based on your own or other people's expectations. Comparing yourself to other people, including those people in the media on Instagram showing you their great lives, in their rented house or getting off of an airplane that they snuck into on the airport tarmac or something. The things you told yourself as a result of painful experiences. So these are things like betrayal and rejection. Your interpretation creates your self-doubt and your self-blame, which are most likely undeserved, especially in cases of rejection and betrayal. Self-doubt and self-blame, those are things that get you looping into questions you can never answer. Why is my life so horrible? Why am I such a piece of shit? Whatever it is. The inner critic is motivated by pain, by low self-esteem, by lack of self-acceptance, and lack of self-love. Why else would this person abuse you? And since this person is you, why else would you abuse yourself? Would you let any person on the outside treat you this badly? You would not. Number 2 is the worrier. Oh boy, the person who lives in the future, the world of what ifs. The worrier is motivated by fear, which is often irrational and has no basis. Things will never be like you think they will be. Not exactly. We're in our head. We're driving down the road. We don't even know that we're, how we're getting there. We're turning left and right. We're getting to the destination, but in our head, we're having an argument that we're going to have with our spouse when we get home. And you're doing your part and their part, and I'm going to say this, and then he's going to say that, and then I'm going to... Seriously, you're legitimately having an argument in your head, in your imagination, that is never going to happen the way you think. So this person is motivated by fear of the past, because the mind is there to try to make us survive. And it's bringing up those pictures of the past to try to say, this is very similar to what happened back then. Next is the reactor or the troublemaker. This is the one that triggers anger and frustration and pain. And these triggers stem from unhealed wounds of the past. Any experience that is even remotely related to a past wound will set this person off. They can be set off by words or feelings. You know those kind of people. And you know those people on the outside too, because if somebody comes up to you and they touch your stuff, they start to, and you say, don't go there with me. What does that mean? You're getting close to my stuff, right? Well, this person inside is the reactor. They have no real motivation. They have very poor impulse control. They are just run by past programming that no longer serves you, if it ever served you. But it served you when you were a child. You're now an adult. It's time to change that programming. Next is the sleep depriver. Now, this can be a combination of any number of different roommates, including the inner planner, the rehasher, the ruminator, along with the inner critic and the worrier. Because the sleep depriver's motivation can be as a reaction to silence, which he fights against, taking care of the business you neglected during the day, self-doubt, low self-esteem, insecurity, generalized anxiety, something you can't figure out the reason for, but you're just so anxious. How can you control these roommates? How can you evict these bitches from your mind? Well, just think about it. You are the thinker and the observer of your thoughts. You can control your thoughts, but you must pay attention to them so you can identify who is running the show, which of those roommates. This will determine which technique you will want to use. Begin each day with the intention of paying attention to your thoughts and catching yourself when you're thinking undesirable ones. There are 2 ways to control your thoughts. Now, the first technique is called interrupt and replace them. The second is eliminate them altogether. Now, the second option is what is known as peace of mind. The technique of interrupting and replacing is a means of reprogramming your subconscious. Eventually, the replacement thoughts will become the go-to thoughts. Because what we're doing now, anytime we slip out of the now and we go on autopilot, the tape that is running inside you is the tape in your subconscious created when you were a child. You know, you can use the first technique, interrupt and replace them with your inner critic and worrier, and technique B, which is eliminate them altogether with the reactor and the sleep depriver. Now, for the inner critic, when you catch yourself thinking negative about yourself, calling yourself names, disrespecting yourself, berating yourself, interrupt it. You can yell in your mind, stop, no, or enough, I'm in control. Anybody ever do the Silva method for mind control? I love that. I did it years ago. And if you know that course, you know that everyone thinks mind control. They're saying, I want to control someone else's mind. Mind control is controlling your own mind. And they had a great thing in there that just says, you just go cancel to yourself. If you're involved with somebody that's spouting negativity or you have a negative thought in your mind, you think cancel. And it just starts putting the gap in the programming. You know, if you're thinking I'm such a loser, you can replace it with, I'm a divine creation of universal spirit. I'm perfect. I'm learning to master the human experience. I am a being of energy, light, and matter. Whatever. Positive. I'm an asshole. I'm brilliant. I'm too fat. I'm perfect just the way I am. I love and approve of myself just as I am. You can also have a dialogue with yourself to discredit the voice. You can say, just because so-and-so said I was a loser doesn't make it true. If somebody on the outside says it to you. How many times does that happen? Somebody walks up to you and they say something, touches your stuff, and you take it into your inner world. You get all upset about it. It's just his or her opinion. It's not a statement of fact. Maybe they were just joking. You took it seriously. There's so much you don't realize. If you recognize you're having recurring self-critical thoughts, you can write out or pre-plan your counter thoughts, with an affirmation so you can be ready. For the worrier, prolonged anxiety is mentally, it's emotionally, it's physically unhealthy. It can have long-term health implications. Disease, dis-ease, not at ease, disease in the body. Fear initiates the fight or flight response, something we don't need anymore. When you walked out of a cave back in the day and you could have, you walked into a lion, that doesn't happen anymore. It just creates worry in the mind. It creates anxiety in the body. And it's going to be more difficult for you to control your thoughts effectively. You should be able to recognize a worry thought immediately. You know why? By how you feel. The emotion that's attached to it will give you that feeling in the pit of your stomach, that nervous feeling, your increased heart rate, muscle tension. So interrupt any thought. Interrupt any thought. Replace it with the opposite thought that's positive. Replacing fearful thoughts with gratitude, for instance, is going to decrease reactionary behavior. If your child gets lost in the mall, the typical parent and their parental reaction that follows the fearful thoughts when finding them is to yell at them. I told you never to leave my sight. This reaction just adds to the child's fear level from being lost in the first place. It also teaches them that mom or dad is going to get mad when he makes a mistake, which will make them lie to you or not tell you things in the future. Change those fearful thoughts when they happen. Then when you see your child after this process, you could say, thank you, universe, for watching over my child, keeping him safe. Thank you for helping me find him, whatever. Now for the troublemaker, permanently eliminating this roommate will take a bit more attention and reflection after the fact to identify and heal the cause of these triggers. But until then, you can prevent the reactor from getting out of control by initiating conscious breathing. What do you mean conscious breathing? I know how to breathe. I'm alive. We don't breathe correctly. We don't take deep breaths in and out. We are so bad at breathing in this world today with so much going on. The reactor's thoughts or feelings activate that fight or flight response, just like the worrier. And the psychological signs of his presence will be the same. With a little attention, you should be able to tell the difference between anxiety, fear, frustration, or pain. And when you start figuring out which is which, you start to figure out what the triggers are, and then they start to disappear. You've probably heard the suggestion to count to 10 when you're angry. Well, you can make those 10 seconds much more productive if you're breathing consciously. Conscious breathing is really as simple as it sounds. It's just being conscious of your breathing. It's taking your attention, your focus off of everything that's going on in your mind, paying attention to your breath, taking deep breaths in and out. As you breathe in through your nose, you feel the air entering your nostrils. You feel your lungs expanding. You focus on your belly rising. And then you breathe out through your mouth. You feel your lungs emptying. You focus on your belly falling. Do this for as long as you like. Leave the situation if you want. This gives the adrenaline time to normalize. Now you can address the situation from a much better place because you're calmer and you're more rational and your perspective is different. What happens? You avoid damaging behavior and you'll be so much more in control of your thoughts. And the more you do this, the more gap you create in your programming. And the more that happens, the more you're able to reprogram yourself. It's magic. One of the troubles of these roommates, especially if they add to the sleep depriver, because the more and more that you are sleep deprived, the worse and worse everything gets, right? So you got to start evicting those roommates. Master your mind. Find the real motives. What's the inner drive? What's keeping you from moving, right? Now, if you are somebody who can't sleep and you have that sleep depriver in you that keeps you up all night worrying about what you didn't do that day or what you got to do tomorrow, it means you can't turn off your mind at bedtime. And that inability prevents people from falling asleep, and then they don't get the rest, and the next day is screwed. So that happened to me all the time. Here's how I mastered it, and you can too. Focus on your breath right before you go to sleep. Pay attention, just like I described, to the fall and rise of your stomach. Then I came up with a replacement strategy that eliminated uncontrolled thinking. Imagining the word in while breathing in and thinking the the word out while breathing out. I would do, and I still do it, I would make the word long to match my breath as I went in, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking in as I breathe in, out, to match my breath. And then if I catch myself thinking anything else, I shift right back to in and out, right? With this technique, I'm still thinking, but the wheels are no longer spinning out of control. I'm in control of my mind and my thoughts, and I choose quiet. I choose sleep. Now, the first time I did this, I started to yawn after literally 5 minutes. And now I am in sleep within 10 minutes of going to bed. For really difficult nights, if something really intensive is going on, I also like to add something where I hold my eyes kind of in a looking up position. Like you're looking up, your eyes are closed, you're looking up. Like imagine you're looking through your third eye in the middle of your forehead, inside, you know? If you have trouble falling asleep because you can't shut off your mind, you got to try this. I use it every night, and I guarantee you'll be sleeping better tonight. You can use this technique anytime you want to fall back to sleep. If you wake up too soon, that used to happen to me all the time too. Wake up 3 in the morning, and then you're wide awake, right? If you want to shut down your thinking, you want to calm those feelings and simply focus on the present, because the past does not exist. The past is just former nows. The future will never be here, because when it does, it will be now. All we have is now, and this is the only time we can make lasting change. So the mind, my friends, is a tool. It's like any other tool. It can be used for constructive purposes. It can be used for destructive purposes. You can allow your mind to be occupied by unwanted, undesirable, and super destructive roommates, or you can choose desirable people, just desirable tenants like peace and gratitude and abundance and compassion and love and joy. That's what we want. That's what it's all about. Your mind is your enemy, and it should be your best friend. It should be your biggest supporter. It should be someone who helps you, someone you can count on to be there and encourage you. You can be in control of your thoughts, my friend. The choice is completely up to you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, the exercise that I talked about there, about watching your breath as you breathe in and as you breathe out, anything you can do like that. Same thing with mantras in the head when you're repeating a word over and over again. You are training your mind. I don't care who you are, or what you think, and how you think that these life changes happen. They will not happen without some form of meditation and without the ability to get control of your mind, because your mind is destroying your life. It's keeping you from happiness. It's keeping you from wealth. If you have wealth, it's keeping you from something else. Because our mind is made up of that programming. The people that don't know it are walking around with that tape going in their head, that old rusty programming that's been in there for decades and decades and decades. So anything you can do to work on your focus. In life, to be successful, you need unwavering focus. You need to be able to focus your life force energy. That's your willpower. Your attention and your intention on what you want in life. By having a mind where there's a million things, be yelling and arguing, you're in the past and the future, all this shit going on inside your head, it's like a giant smoke screen between you and the life you want to live. You can eliminate all that crap by taking control of your mind. You're the boss. You are the boss. It's not the other way around, even though we think that. We think we're a slave to the mind because we're used to letting our mind go crazy. Our mind is responsible for people killing themselves. Nobody's ever committed suicide without their mind telling them to do it. Think about it. Your mind can be the most incredible friend you've ever had. It can be your most bitter enemy. And for most of us, that is what's going on. It is crazy. So I don't care what you think about airy-fairy meditation, all this BS. You have to do it. You have to do some form of meditation. It's the only way it works in this busy, hustle, bustle existence we live in. Because the kingdom is inside you. Everything that you want is inside. The connection, everything you need to get it is there. But you got to go in, not out. We're all going out. I want the job, the house, the this, chase, hamster wheel. You never get it. You're always one step behind, it seems, right? So you got to get control of your mind. And the first way to do that is meditation, because it gives you the ability to focus. If you sit there and you're thinking, I can't do, oh my God, my leg itches, my arm's sore. What am I going to make for lunch? I have to do this later. I'm going to this movie tonight. Whatever. That's fine. Your mind is supposed to be doing that. That's what your mind's used to doing. But you bring back the focus immediately. If you're going to do the breath, for instance, just watch your breath. That's all you got to do for 5 minutes if you're just starting, or 20 if that's really 20 minutes in the morning and the evening is best. All you got to do is focus on your breath. And what it does is, over time, it builds up your power of focus. And you are able to put your energy where it matters. You don't have a million different things pulling your life force. Developing unwavering focus, the ability to focus. You're in school and they tell you need to focus. Nobody ever taught us how to focus. Well, that's what you need to learn. That's what we do, okay? So we're all about giving you the tools you need to make the changes in life, because the only way to make permanent, lasting change is to start with you. We change the world when we change ourselves. Wars aren't going to do it. Politics aren't going to do it. You do it by changing yourself. And then everyone changes by osmosis. Everyone starts changing. The world changes. That's the only way that it works. Because right now, what does war get you? Whoever has the biggest army wins. It doesn't mean the person who's right. You have to take control of your own destiny. Stop putting yourself in the hands of other people. If you've not joined our Facebook community, that's where it all starts, my friends. We are there right now. And it's all about self-empowerment. I learned a long time ago, that is the most important thing of all: self-love, self-empowerment. Stop waiting for a savior. Stop waiting for a white knight to come into your life. They are not coming. You are your own savior. Save your own ass. Learn to take control of your own life. Stop putting the blame on other people and other things. If you weren't born here and if this wasn't your parents, bullshit. Take responsibility for where you are and let that crap go. When you release the past, all that rusty programming vanishes. It disappears. And you don't have to do anything. Don't go to see a psychiatrist who's going to get paid $1,000 an hour, whatever, for 20 years to work through your issues. Bullshit. They're just going to be a very highly paid friend. They're going to agree with you, tell you when you're right and you're wrong. You can't change any of that stuff. By admitting where you are now and letting it go, you've just saved yourself a fortune and years in therapy. Set your goals again. Goals change from when you were a child or middle age or whatever it is, but reset your goals if they've changed. Look into the future and then start making the choices you need to get there. That's what we teach you how to do. It's all mindset. Forget everything else, because without control of the mind, you are never, ever going to make any kind of lasting change. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot. Not going to work. It's just the surface mind. Positive thinking is great, but positive thinking on just that surface level will not work. You're standing in the middle of the Sahara Desert going, I am cold. I am cold. I'm bullshit. That's not going to save you. That is all just surface level. They are great tools to have in your tool belt, but they are only part of the answer. They are not everything. Positive thinking is definitely not everything. Getting control of your mind is where it happens. Now, if you have not joined our YouTube channel, we'd love you to subscribe. We have 200 videos and counting. We have lots of content. It's youtube.com/Taylor Webb Television. Our entire goal here, we spend hours each and every day for you. Catherine and I both have busy careers. I tour internationally. Catherine's doing seminars all over the world. We do this to help you. We do this to serve. We do this to give back. My passion used to be getting on stage, getting a standing ovation, and thinking I was so great with myself. That doesn't do it for me anymore. Seeing somebody transform, that's what does it. When you can take where you are in life and where you think you're going, headed down some dark road, and change your entire outlook, that is everything. That's everything. It gives you the motivation you need to keep moving forward to those big, bright places that you've been dreaming of. And, if you can dream it, you can do it. I know that sounds like such a motivational speaker cliche, but it's true. And if you need some extra help, if you're somebody out there who's thinking, this sounds like me, I understand it, but I'm not quite sure how to implement it in my life, well, I can help you. I have my personal mindset coaching. We do that. I take 10 students at a time. We have one spot open. If you're interested, go take a look right now. It's brentwebb.info/coaching. Clever. brentwebb.info/coaching. It's time to stop hitting the snooze button on your life and start living the life that you've always dreamed of. Absolutely. I mean, why wait, right? I'm going to be back tomorrow, and I'll have a brand new episode of Brainwashed. We're also going to be doing more of these videos. I'm going to be popping in and out. We're going to work on getting our engagement up in the Facebook community. You can help. Do you want to help us? If you like our content, if you like what we're doing, if you like the message that we're putting out there, because it's not just a message, it's a movement. Change ourselves, change the world. That's how it works. That's how you do it. And that's the message we're trying to get out there. Invite your friends to join us. Like everything. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have thousands of community members on Facebook, and we have 300 subscribers. So that's definitely off, right? Go help us out. Help us with our engagement. Get this word out to a bigger and bigger and bigger group. That's how you can help us. That's how you can help us if you enjoy our content, because it's all for you. If you're using this content and it's helping you, we want to know about it. Drop us a message. Let us know. If you need help with something, send me a private message. We're here to help. I know that it's not easy. And I know we all think we're stuck and this is all there is for us, but it's not. I promise you, there is so much that you just don't know. It's like the old saying, there are things that we know that we know. There's the things that we know that we don't know. Like, I know I don't know how to water ski, but I know it. I know I don't know. But the most important thing of all, those are the things that we don't know that we don't know, because there's so much more. If you're operating from a golf ball size consciousness, you're only going to get a golf ball size reward. You've got to expand your consciousness. You got to take control of your mind. That's what we're all about. Nothing else will work until you get control of that. Okay. So back tomorrow with a new episode of Brainwash. Any questions or comments? You're watching this later. First of all, share it. Get this thing out there. But second, drop your questions, your comments down below, and I'll get to them next time. All right. Have a fantastic Sunday or Monday, wherever you are in the world. Go out and enjoy yourself. It's raining here in Ohio. Does that matter? No. People, it's raining, so my day's ruined. Enjoy it. Embrace it. The moment in front of you is yours, so take it. All right? Don't worry. Be happy and feel good. See you tomorrow.